Hello, everyone. Hello. Hello, hello. I'm trying to
Hi.
Hi. I'm trying to stop time. I don't know how to do that.
I didn't have to put a password in.
That's weird. That's really weird.
I did. I had to put a password in.
I didn't have to.
So weird.
Yeah, we didn't have to either.
I think I figured out with passwords, I feel like if you've already been to that person's like Zoom link, then they don't ask you for a password. But if you've never been in that Zoom room before, then if there's a password set up, they will. Because some people, same for me, my Zooms, like they're like, I didn't need a password. So then some people do.
Oh, maybe, yeah. That makes sense.
Hopefully we don't have any like gross men like drawing penises on our Zoom call or like we're like slurring, like spouting racial slurs or anything like that. We'll cross our fingers.
That's all right. I kept my dog out of my room.
What, does this happen or what?
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's been so bad. There was a girl that was defending her thesis to get her PhD, and this guy came on, somehow hacked in and started like spouting all these racial slurs and like threatening her, like he was gonna kill her and like rape her and like all this stuff.
No
while
kidding.
she's defending her thesis. Like it was nuts.
Oh my gosh.
It was really weird. We had a team call last night just with one of my lines, and we were just like talking, and all of a sudden this other person like joined in, and we're like, and I only sent the link to that like one group, and it was another girl who ended up being like on my team, but like in a completely different line and down way farther, and we're like, hi, she's like, hi, I'm here for the Zoom, and we're like, how did you get on this link? And she's like, it popped up on my screen, and I'm like, I literally only sent it to my one team's group chat. No, I'm busy. Your dad's supposed to be taking care of you.
That is crazy.
Anyway, I don't know, man. There's some weird stuff happening with Zoom.
All right, so I'm hiding in my bathroom. In case you didn't notice, I'm in my bathroom.
I'm in that bedroom.
We just did a party, like a Meet Monate party. It was really fun. I'll talk about it a little later, but yeah, so I was doing demos and stuff, so I was in my bathroom, but then I was like, well, Tim has the kids, and if I emerge from this room, then they'll be all over me, so I'm just gonna do this from my bathroom tonight.
I'm in my bathroom too.
Oh, you're hiding in the bathroom too, okay.
I did put jeans on though.
Okay, let's talk about your hair right now. Holy flying bombs. What?
Erin, your hair is like bomb AF right now.
Like AFF.
Right?
Let's go.
What the F?
Can you share
Yeah,
a
you
little
just
bit?
take like so you just curl it, and then you just take your crown area, right? So it's just like my crown spot, and then you just put it in a tight pony, and then you just tighten it, and then it all just like goes to the side, and then it's like that.
Yeah.
I have used Erin's hair.
I'll do a tutorial on Power Hour
shampoo.
tomorrow.
Like so pretty.
Thank you. Felt like dressing up.
All right, so it's 8:35. So Jess, she's on, right? Jess is on? I can't see. Is Jess on? Jess, are
I don't
you
think
here?
so.
She's not here yet. She said she might be a couple minutes late because she's trying to get her kid down to sleep, but then she also has to leave early because she's been requested on another call too. So she may be, I'll see if she's coming on now or not. I'm not sure. Okay, so we'll just start, and then when she comes, we'll just let her speak, Erin, hey? And then if she wants to leave. Okay, so welcome everybody. We're so excited to have you here tonight. Woohoo, we got 80 people on. Yay, let's celebrate. Woo! I love it. Okay, this is so exciting. I love seeing everybody's faces. I love seeing everyone show up. How's everyone feeling right now in isolation? Is everyone actually like feeling really good in isolation? Because I know we see everyone else feeling like meh, but I feel like we feel fabulous. I don't know about you, but like, are we all feeling great? Like we're rocking our businesses. Everyone's in right now.
I'm good, man. I'm good. Besides when we're teaching homeschool, that's the only part, right?
Yeah.
I feel like our daily power hours have like completely given me more motivation and a boost, like and energized, and so thanks, Erin, for those.
Oh yeah, so good. Okay, so let's do a quick little. I'm gonna do a little video for Instagram here, so everyone be like super excited. Like we have 4 pages of people here, so I'm gonna scroll through 4 pages. Are you ready? And go. Woohoo! Woo-hoo! We got like pages and pages of people here. Woohoo! Wow! All right, we're so excited for tonight. Good job, guys. Okay.
You're not on.
Take it. How do I do this? Okay. Woo-hoo. All right, so thank you guys for showing up. And so we have Erin Fudge on here tonight. Now, Erin, you see her name on the leaderboard all the time. Not that's a bad thing. She literally rocks, kills, slays her personal business like bananas crazy. So she's going to talk tonight about some of her strategies and share with you guys what the F-bomb she's doing. She's going to give you all the goods, okay? And then we have Jess Gillis coming on, who is a new executive director, and she's on leaderboards a lot. She's always up on sponsoring boards, and she slays her business too. So she was going to give some tips and tricks and insight as to what she's doing in her business as well. And then I'm just here to cheerlead everyone and offer some little nuggets. Yay me. Okay, so since Jess isn't here right now, we're going to start with Erin. And then, like I said, Jess has to leave early. So if she gets in here, we'll let her have her moment. And then if you have any quick questions for Jess, we'll let you have her time, and then she's going to jet. But me and Erin will take care of the rest of the night. So any questions, I would probably, unless you're talking to Jess in general when she's on, maybe wait till near the end, because we don't want them to get lost in the scroll if everyone's commenting and talking. So we'll try to maybe open up Q&A for the end so that we can focus on the questions. I don't know, that might be a bit cleaner. It doesn't really matter. We'll still scroll through anyway, but we just don't want to miss any questions that you may have if you write them in the comments there. So take it away, Erin. You're a rock star. I'm so inspired by you. I just love you. I'm addicted to watching your stories, and I just love your energy. I love what you do. I just love you like a lot. So let's hear from you.
Yeah, you love my bras too, right? My bra.
I just love your bras.
I love my bras. Amy and I have been sporting the same bras for a while here, so we've been talking about it. So first of all, thank you so much for asking me to come on. I kind of have 2 parts, so if Jess pops on, then I can save the second part for after she's done. But one of the things that I wanted to comment on is about working your personal business. And so if you're on my direct team, you guys, we've been talking about this for a really long time. You know, one of the things that I want people to understand and to remember is that we get paid on Fridays as well, right? So it's not all about, you know, the 15th of the month, which is awesome as well. But if you are, you know, working right now to build a team, and maybe you don't have a large team underneath you right now, you can still make a lot of money on those Fridays with those Friday pays based on the sales that you have. Oh, Jess is here. Should I let her?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to shut up and Jess is going to go.
Hey, Jess, we're just going to, we already gave you an introduction and everyone knows you're going to jet. So come on, do your thing. I ask you questions, then you can leave.
Okay, sorry. I didn't realize the password was all in like big letters. So I'm like, what the hell? What's happening? How's everybody? I'm like just jumping on like, hey. I have no idea what was said. Can you guys hear me properly?
We didn't say anything yet. Erin was just going to start and then you popped in, so we're good.
Okay, awesome. So I was just going to give a few tips because I feel like for so many people, things are really different right now. Like I know for me, business has been really, like, it's been great, but I'm used to working on social media anyways. Like that's always been kind of how I work my business because I'm home with the kids all the time. But I know a lot of people have work or they go out more and they meet people. So now being home, things are really different and it could be a little bit more difficult. So I wanted to kind of help because I feel like right now social media is a huge asset for us because I mean everyone is kind of, well, most people are home and have more time, you know, on scrolling, looking at videos, watching things. So I wanted to give a few tips of mine, how I work my business. I call it the trust bridge, because there's like this thing with social media. Sometimes you follow people and you don't really know them that well, and when it comes to working your business, the one thing that's really important is you want people to be able to trust you and to get to know you, and that's how your business will grow, is gaining trust from people. So I wanted to give you guys a few things, like, you know how on social media when you, like, they say people have to see what you post a few times before they decide to go ahead and try it. Well, this is kind of the same thing. I feel like there's certain steps that you should take all the time to get you people's trust and for people to want to actually purchase or join your team. Like, it has to do with you. All of it has to do with you. People will usually buy from people they have a lot of trust in and join your team because they have a connection with you specifically. It's not because you posted a great image of the sale, or it's not because you had the best, you know, collage that look cool being on your team. It's about you all the time. So my number one tip is always being you. I know that for some people being on social media, sometimes it's hard to be ourselves because we feel like everybody's just watching, and so we tend to not be as vulnerable. I'm guilty of that. Sometimes I'm not vulnerable enough and I don't show enough of my weaker side, and it's so important. And I find that the more that right now, like, I kind of have to, because life is so different, and so things have been a lot harder. So I feel like I have to show that side of me. And seriously, since I have been more open with the things that are more difficult and just showing exactly who I am, my business is doing a lot better. So I want you guys to remember one thing is, like, no one else is you, and that's literally it's your power. It's what makes you super powerful. And in this business especially, people will go to you because they connect to you. So it's so important to always be yourself and show your face and like, you know, be you on camera, and try to, if you're new to it and you're used to posting, like, doing videos now more than ever is the best thing, because people have more time to watch and people feel like they want to connect. Like, people feel so lonely, like, people are home, they can't be in touch with people. So seeing videos, seeing your face, it makes people happy. And so that's one thing that everybody should be doing right now, is making sure they're live, making sure they're doing stories. Like, every day you have to show up. Every single day you have to be there. It doesn't always have to be about your business, but like, show up and show your face. Get to know people is another thing. I'm not a super social person. I am, but I'm not the type of person to just, like, spark a conversation easily with everybody, because I'm kind of shy actually in person. But on social media, because I had to, and because this is how I've been working my business for so many years, I've really learned to get to know people, even if sometimes it's hard to just, you know, open up, but really get to know people. And if, like, just be a listener and be genuine and really ask questions to people and just connect. Because and I'm not saying, like, literally show up in everybody's direct messages, but not about your business, but just about life in general. Especially right now, people want to talk, people want to feel heard. Like, people really want to have that connection. So be social. And listen to people and be genuine about everything. And literally my DMs are full lately of just conversations with strangers that I've never really like talked to that much before, that I feel like we're developing friendships. And this month I've had a lot of new VIPs, and it's literally just from not people that I know, but people that I sparked conversations in the last month and a half. So I feel like that's one good side about being home right now, is that we have more time to do that. So like, get to know people. It's really, really important. Don't send the same messages to everybody all the time, because it's just, that doesn't work. But get to know them. And it's so simple. Sometimes you can just compliment somebody with this smallest little thing, and then just because that day they really needed it. I made a post a couple days ago because it was so weird. It was that one day it felt like everybody was having a really hard time with what's happening right now. And I know it's been hard, but this one day it was like post after post after post of people just having a really hard time. So I made a simple post about, you know, we're gonna get through this, like, let's do this together. And I've had so many messages of people being like, thank you, because today was hard. And it just started a conversation, and now we're like connected. It's that simple. But just being open and like opening your eyes to what's happening and to what people are feeling right now is really important. The third thing is bringing value. It's like probably one of the most important thing on social media, because there's so many people. Everybody's on social media all the time. Everybody's posting things. And yes, sometimes you repost about funny things or whatever, but it's not necessarily valuable to you. So you'll forget it faster than if somebody gives you something that really has a meaning. So bringing value can be like educating on our products, on our business. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Like, honestly, you don't have to go in like crazy like science mode, or like having the best words or be the most talented with your words, because you just like simple things, like simple tips. For example, recently I did a video about the lash serum and what mascara I use. It's so simple. It took me like literally 5 minutes, and I've had like probably half of my VIPs this month are people who just bought this serum because they saw my video, and it wasn't just about our products, but I was also giving tips on like which mascara I use. It doesn't have anything to do with our company, but still it's genuine. It's something that I use, something that I love. And I just gave a tip on how to use it, what I do. And like people really kind of, I don't know, they got value from it, I guess. And people have been really messaging me about it. So make sure you give tips. It can be sometimes so simple as like how to use a certain product. Or you know, just things like that. But you can't always just post any like things that have to do with sales or prices or just how you love the products. We know you love it, but like why, and what does this product do, and how do you use it, you know, simple things like that. But for sure, teach people. Teaching is super important in our business, because people want to learn something all the time. And then another thing that I do a lot is sharing testimonies of myself, especially. Like, if you're in this business, you should really buy everything. You should have every single product. And that is not just because it gives you PV or whatever. It's just because buying everything is really a huge asset, because you have more to talk about all the time. Like, you should have experience with every product, so that you never run out of ideas of something to talk about. Because you like, if you're only using certain products all the time, well, then people hear you talk about the same thing all the time, and then it gets old. So if you use everything, and every couple weeks you talk about something different. And I mean, I don't talk about something different every day, because I don't find that helpful. I find it's more helpful to me if I stick to one thing for a week or so and really focus on that product. Just because then the people see me talk about that a few times, and then they're like buying it before I switch to talking about something else. So you can stick to like one thing for a little while, and then, you know, try something else, use something else. But really, you should every flash sale you should buy. You should have all those products at home, so that you can truly give. People want to hear testimonies of experience. They want to know why you're loving it. If they're following you, or if they're listening to you, it's because they connect with you. So it's super important that you give that experience. Like, not just, you know, this is for fine hair and it gives volume. Okay, but like, how does it actually work? Has it worked on you? Because most people, if I give them an option of products to buy, most people will ask me, what do you think of it? Like, is it really working? Like a lot, like people messaged me after that video with the lash serum and asked me, is it worth for me to buy? Like, does it actually work? And I'm like, well, yes, it actually works. I'm using it on myself. You can see the results, but really that's all people want to know is how you're using it and why you're loving it. So it's super important you have that experience with all of our products, in my opinion. And if it's not on you, then test it on other people. Have your aunt, your grandmother, your mom, your friend or whatever, and get them to try it and ask them for their testimony and talk about that a lot. Send samples. Like I post testimonies and before and after pretty much every single day, because a lot of people are visual. They want to see. Like they can't just read it or hear it. They want to see the difference. So make sure that you do that and you send samples for people to just try and give you and ask for their opinion and ask for their feedback so that you have that feedback to give. But yeah, testimonies on social media is a huge thing because people, they can't feel you, they're not there. So they want to at least see what the products do. And then the last thing that I really do a lot is giving options. People always want to feel like, well, and I mean, we all feel like that, but we want to feel like people are trying to accommodate us and people want our best interests. So if you give options of things, it gives them the choice, and people like having a choice. So I always give like show products and give a few options of how they can buy that product and have a discount. So for like, how sometimes we have a flash sale and all of a sudden we're like booming because we feel like, oh, that's like a good price and it's like an option to sell it, it's cheaper or whatever. Well, do that for yourself. Like play with your back office, play in your cart and put a few products together and see like how the discount adds up, and then like give options of like, for example, with the lash serum, you can't, like, you have to buy more than one product to become VIP. So I realized that when you buy two, it's so worth it because it's way much cheaper. So just like play with it, give options to people. And that goes to like, even when people come to you about the products and they want to know, that's usually how I close the sale, is that I always give more than one option of prices and also products for them to use. Like, for example, if it's somebody with fine hair, I'll give them my first best option, which would be the most expensive, but the most beneficial, like the one that's going to give them the most results, right, like faster. And then I give them the cheaper option, just so that they don't really have a choice, because there is the more expensive and the cheaper option. So they, instead of saying, no, it doesn't work for me, well, they pick one, like, well, that one seems like the better option for me because it's something that works for their budget or whatever. So giving options to people, letting them pick what works for them, has worked really well for me. But yeah, so that's something that I do a lot. But those are just little tips on social media, because I feel like right now people should really take advantage of that. Like if you're home, especially, like show up. Yeah, two options all the time, Diana, because I feel like sometimes if you just give one option, it's like it's easy for somebody to be like, oh, that's out of my budget, I can't. But then if they see a cheaper option, they're kind of like, oh yeah, that could work, that could be better. And then sometimes they're like, well, do you have another option even a little cheaper? And then you can work with that. But they're more open if you give them more options than just like being strict on one idea. But yeah, like right now we should really show up on social media a lot, because that's pretty much all we have. Like this is, like we can't go anywhere. So now is the time to show up and just kind of get out of your comfort zone and connect with people and just get to know people. I've never, like, it's been a hard time, but at the same time, I'm seeing so much positive out of it. Like literally this month for me has been one of my best months in so long. Like, well, numbers wise, team wide, it's for sure our best month ever. But even personally, it's one of my better months. And I think it's because I've really, 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 tried to just be there for people more and listen and just talk to people. I've never, like, I'm not a phone talker. I don't like to be on the phone that much, but I've never been on FaceTime more than now. Like, I feel like I'm on FaceTime with somebody every day, just talking, like even family. I'm like so much more connected to people. And that's why I feel like at the end of the day, we're going to get out of this so much better. There's so much positive to get out of this. And we have the best business in the world right now. We're so lucky to have what we have. If you don't know me that well, this business has saved my life more than once. It's saved my life literally since the day I joined. It's been a blessing. And I'm just telling you, if you're fairly new and you're getting started right now, even though the world seems like it's like, you know, dying, it's not. It's actually, it's positive and it's good. And I feel like after this, we're going to be all so much better. And we're so lucky to have this business, and we couldn't be at a better place at a better time right now, truthfully. So I love that you guys are doing this, the Zooms a lot. It's good to see faces. I love it. Like, it's so weird. I go to the grocery store and I'm like, people are so like far away from each other, and it's just so weird to watch. But then at the same time, when I get home and I work my business and my light just fell. Boom. But then when I'm on like FaceTime or on Zoom or whatever, I feel more connected to people than ever before. So it's like the weirdest thing. It's like it brought us closer together, which I'm so thankful for. So I'm gonna leave it up for like questions for a few minutes. If anyone has, I can't see the chat, so I'm just gonna click on it and see if there was questions. But if you have any, go ahead and ask.
If you have anything for Jess, now's the time to let her rip for her, because she's gonna run.
Yes, I
Let
have
her
a call.
have it.
3 minutes.
You want to?
Jess, I have a question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoop, whoop. Okay, so my question would be, you're making a lot of new conversations and talking to lots of new people, and you're meeting them on social media. Are you finding you're making that initial connection by like replying to a story or commenting on their posts initially, or like are you engaging with them first, or are they reaching out to you on something you posted?
Stories
Yeah.
are huge. Like, stories is like probably the easiest way to connect with people, because usually you post a story, you expect people to react or to like, people are already open to it. So it's the easiest way to talk to somebody. So stories is huge. One of the things is I was really big on stories from Instagram for a while there, and I actually recently switched to Facebook and watching more of the stories on Facebook and paying more attention, and I've had a lot more response from Facebook than Instagram, and which is not that surprising to me, because for some reason Facebook has always worked better for me. I don't know if it's because people feel like they know me more on Facebook, but I had switched recently because most people are on Instagram, and it seemed like that was the big thing and like the bigger platform or whatever. But in the last while, I've been over on Facebook, and like, cause they have stories now, and I've been replying to the stories there, and I get better response, and then you're in their messenger. So it's easier to keep going with the conversation. But stories for sure. And sometimes I'll like see a post of somebody, like people post about, I feel like people are more open to sharing their feelings right now. Like, people can't help it almost. Like, people are just more aware of how they feel. People are more aware of what they're grateful for right now, and people are sharing more. So it's easier. Like, if I say, I'll see a post about something, somebody posting about how they feel about certain things, and then I'll just go into their messages and just like offer support or just talk or whatever. If it's something that I connect with, then I'll be like, hey, I've been feeling like that too, or whatever. But both for sure, but mostly stories, because it's just so easy and simple. It's so fast. Let me read.
Thank you so much. That's awesome. Thank you.
I wanted to agree with you, Jess, on the Facebook thing. Like, I was playing over on Instagram because that's where everybody was. And I've recently done the same as you, is gone back to Facebook and gone into the Facebook stories. And I just wanted to kind of second what you're saying and kind of like say that I've done the same thing, and I've noticed the same thing, and I had more VIPs this month than ever. And I'm going into my Facebook stories, and like you said, it goes right into their messenger, and then you're just continuing the conversation. I don't know if they're more, like you said, if they're more receptive, they feel they know me better on Facebook. I don't know, but it's like
I think on Facebook too, people are more open to reading and learning. Instagram is more about a quick thing, just a quick post, a quick or like something that looks really pretty. It's not about really opening up that much, where Facebook is more about sharing opinions and I don't know. I just find for some reason, Facebook for me that way is much better connecting with people for sure anyways.
And getting the conversions, like connecting and converting, it's like Facebook like is golden. And then that, because when you go on Instagram and share your story from Instagram, you can make it go right to your Facebook story. So you don't have to double post. You can just do the one and it goes to both places. And
exactly.
Yeah.
And also make sure you always have new contacts on your Facebook and your Instagram. Like make sure you're spending right now, if you find that you've been spending more time on social media than ever, you should definitely spend the time and grow that platform. Like follow people, add people to your Facebook. You should really always have new people around. It should never always be the same people, because then how do you grow past that, right? So it's super important to always be adding. And I'm not like one of the things that I've done as well that's helped me a lot is I created a group. And in that group is like, it's kind of like, I don't know if you guys have a VIP group. I have a VIP group where it's just my VIPs. And in that I'll post a lot of like tips and like sales, or I'll post like tutorials or whatever. But I have a group like that as well that is for people in general. So when I do add new people to my Facebook, that is kind of one of my excuse, and I tell them basically I am here to help with skincare and hair care, and that something has worked really well for me in the past and I've been using the same things. Of course, I was a stylist, so that's a good thing for me to say, where I can't be behind the chair anymore. So this is part of like my passion. So now it helped, like it allows me to work in that, but from my phone, which is great. So I literally send the message to all those new people on my Facebook and tell them about my group and about who I am a little bit, what I do, and then ask them just, would you be open to being in that group and like seeing what I'm saying basically. And usually people are like, yeah, that's super cool. And it starts with like, people will say, hey, I'm actually been having issues with my hair. Like, what would you do? And then it starts like that with me giving them tips, not even about the products, but just in general. And then they pay attention more to what I do every day. So then if they see me post about a certain product that I like, well, they know I'm very involved in that I obviously work in it because I have a group specifically for that. So people just pay more attention. So starting a group, and when I say starting a group, like do not add people and just throw them in the group, because there's no meaning there's no connection, and people kind of get, they don't feel like you're doing that for them. They feel like you're doing that for yourself. But if you really genuinely just like share with them why you have that group and why you're so passionate about your products, it could be just genuinely about your own experience and you wanting to share that what you love about them, and that's why you have the group to share with them. And most people are super like positive about it. So that's one other little tip. If you don't have a group like that and you don't know where to start with adding people to your social media, well, that's a good way to do it. And then everybody's in that group, so if you want to go live in that group, you can post in that group. I try to give the most value in that group because I want people to know that I'm there to help them, which is true. You want people to really feel like you're there to like serve them. And so in that group is usually where I post more tips than ever on anything that's like hair related, skin related, more so hair, because hair is my thing. But yeah, so a group is usually a good thing as well.
Diana asked you a question. She said, is that a copy paste type message that you send to new Facebook friends?
I have a specific thing that I say mostly, but it's never just the same. I just can't do it. I know it would save me a lot of time, but I just can't do it. Like I usually, and I don't add like a lot of people at once. So I have the time to just message these people one at a time. But it's usually specifically for that person. Just because I've had bad experiences before with people doing that to me, and then they put the wrong name in the message, and it's just like, you're just gross, right? And I'm like, I've always thought I'm never going to do this because I don't want that to happen to me. So I try to be really different with everybody, but I at the same time, I don't say anything that's too much about what I sometimes you get messages and people like, oh, I've noticed on your page that you like this, and like I'm just be humble and just simple about it, and just be honest and straight to the point, that you have that group to share with them things that you love, and to just give them tips and help them with certain things. And right now it's like literally you couldn't have a better way to do things, because it's a good excuse. Like I've been home, I'm home from work because of whatever's happening, so this is something to keep me busy and keep me doing what I love. So it's a good excuse to get started now with that, I think. Is there any more questions?
I don't see any more questions. Yeah, just Diana said that's what she was wondering. It would save time, but it means more if it's more personal. I agree too. And Amelia says, I like it personal too.
There was one question. There was one question up a little bit. Somebody was wondering, how do you find stories to comment on of people who aren't already on your friends list? Like, is there a way to like find outside people's stories, or can you only see your friends' stories?
What I do is kind of like what I do because that's how I go and will follow new people basically, and kind of grow my circle, is I'll search with areas. So on Instagram, for example, you can search different like cities or countries or provinces or states or whatever, and you can just, I don't know, let's think about one place. Let's say I'm like, okay, I'll click Nashville, and then you can search Nashville, and then there's a bunch of people, and then it just helps me like narrow it down a little bit. You can search hashtags as well, like about hair related or whatever. Another really, really good thing is if you have one account that you really love of somebody that you follow because you just connect really well with them and they have a pretty big following, you can go through those people's comments, and usually the people who connect with that person are people that would connect with you as well because they have like similar interests. So you can go through those people and just like look at their profile, look at their stories, and like do it that way. But usually stories you see as people follow.
On Facebook, would it be sort of similar, just sort of searching out people in different areas, things like that?
Facebook for me is like, it's a weird thing, but I search by names. I find it easier like that. So I'll pick a name for that day. Like, I don't know, like let's say Caroline, and I'll just start searching Carolines and people that I don't have. Like when I see that we don't have a lot of people in common, like friends in common, then I'll like add those people, because then I know that it's not, they don't have, we're not like connected with so many people already. And that usually that's how I do it. It's like so silly, but it just narrows it down, because if not, usually like for me, the suggested people are all people that are already into Monate, or it's not people that are outside really, which is what you want. So yeah,
I find my stories is a lot of Monate people, and I try to sift through until I find one that's not, and then comment on that person. I sift through and I comment. I don't know if you can sort them. I don't know if you can sort.
I think you have to just make sure you're unfollowing Monate people, like, because I get a lot of Monate people just adding me, so I'll add them as a friend, but then I unfollow them so that I'm not always seeing them.
Yeah, because that's the thing. You want to be friends with them, but then all you see is that. And then another thing is it makes you feel like every single person on the planet is into Monate, because that's we have, but which is not. It's not like that at all, but it's scary sometimes for newer people that, and then everybody that they're connected to are part of Monate because we're just a big family. But then it just makes you feel like everybody knows about it. But then when you dig deep, you realize really not many people know about it still. It's still so untapped. It just doesn't feel like that for us because we're all like together. Okay, I see one last question, or do I not have? No, that's not a question.
All right.
I think that's it, right?
Thank you for all the nugget drops, Jess. You brought lots of nuggets.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Thank you, Jess.
Love you guys.
Enjoy your next call. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye. All right, Erin, you are up in the hot seat. Drop the nugs.
Dropping the nugs. All right. Well, first of all, again, thank you for asking me to do this. What I had mentioned at the beginning here is some of the stuff that I wanted to focus on and talk about was your personal business. And Jess touched on quite a few things that I want to talk about as well. But I want people, especially if you're newer, I want people to remember that we actually get paid on those Fridays as well, right? Your personal business is like the one thing that you can control in this business, right? You can't control what your market partners are going to do. I mean, you can help people obviously reach their goals and do all that. But when it comes down to it, your personal business is 100% in your own hands. So if you're at the point where, you know, you don't have a team yet, and you know, you're in this business, you want to make some money, like basically those Friday pays and your personal volume can really, really pay out.
I'm gonna use that.
Okay. Like, what's happening? So they just talked, Jess just talked a lot about stories. And if anybody follows me at all, you know that stories are 100% my absolute favorite tool to work your personal business. You know, these, like doing the stories has been a lot of why I have, you know, signed so many VIPs in the past 8-9 months now. Because I really started getting into them, but it's also been a tool for me to actually increase my PV, because a lot of my VIPs that I've gotten has been through stories. Now, I work predominantly, I do get some on Facebook, but I'm more of an Instagram gal when it comes to stories. But the reason that I'm able to get like the PV that I've been getting for a while is obviously a lot because people are ordering, right? Like, you know, you can't get, if I got 7,000 PV signing VIPs, that would mean that I signed a whole lot of, VIPs. But stories are a great way to really show people that you're open for business, right? You know, I know for myself, even though I do a lot on Instagram, I'm not a big scroller of Instagram. I'm more of a stories type person. And I find that they are, and if you've been on our power hours, we've talked about this, but I find that it's like the easiest way to start conversations with people. I always felt really uncomfortable, you know, when I first started, just reaching out to people for no reason, like not having anything to say other than just being like, hi, how are you? I haven't talked to you in forever. And I find that stories, and you can do them on Facebook or Instagram, whatever is kind of more of your jam. But it's been a really, really easy way to start conversations and to show people into you. So one of the tips, and we talk about this every day about on the power hours, which I will talk about, is the 10 and 10, right? So basically you want to have 10 stories scrolling throughout the day, and you want to comment on 10 stories in a day. Number one, when I do, and I'm going to talk a little bit about how I do my stories. So if you're on my team, you already know this. But 10 and 10. So, you know, if you're commenting on 10 people's stories, that's essentially 10 reach outs in a day. Because you're starting those conversations with people, and they're so easy because you can easily comment on whatever is happening, right? So I know, and I always use this example, but I got a VIP just by simply, you know, she had her dog playing. I was like, oh, your dog is so cute. And she wrote me back and was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Actually, I've been meaning to reach out to you. Somebody was talking to me about Monate and said I needed to try it. So I needed to ask you. So number one, she knew that I was the hair girl because she's following me and I'm consistent with my stories. But number two, it was just a simple little reach out that clicked something in her brain. And then it made it, that was the time that she decided to actually join with me. And so I really think if people are not doing stories, you're doing yourself a disservice, because I don't even know, like I said on Instagram, I'm not a big scroller and liker person. I try to, but I tend to go through stories more. And I know that a lot of people are really watching stories right now, and they seem to be more of the rage, right? The best thing about stories too is you can really put yourself out there, and it's not just about spamming with Monate, but it's really about having that opportunity to let people see into your pillars, right? So, you know, whatever it is, like for me, it's like boy mom. When I was teaching, there was you know, teaching in there. But whatever it is, if it's your dog or your cat or things that other people can relate to and they can see that and you're consistent with it, it's really going to help draw people into you. And so I always find, you know, and even with Instagram, I'm so brutal with the fact that I'm always like, what should I post? I need to post a picture. And because my background is in art and photography, I'm very nitpicky. Like I want things to look right. And so that's probably why I don't post as much as I should be. But with stories, you know, I was like, okay, what am I going to do with these stories? How am I going to do them? And so what I did was I came up with an actual formula to my stories, because I didn't want them to be sporadic. I didn't want them to be, you know, make no sense. And one of the rules too is like, you always want to have, I think Trina was the one who said this to me, and she was like, you always want to have your face scrolling at the top. So I will never, if I do, you know, something is wrong with me, but I will never let my stories run out ever. And so what I've done is I've kind of decided to break my day into two parts. So I like to do my morning stories, and then I like to do my stories at night. And then I just think of it like, honestly, like reading a child's book, right? Stories, they're literally stories. So it's like you want to have a beginning, you want to have a middle, and you want to have an end to your stories. And so I kind of came up with that formula of my story. So I'm like, okay, how can I, you know, incorporate all the things that I feel like I need to put into my story? So I kind of started with the beginning of my story. So I'll always have a couple of slides about me, depending on the morning, depends what it is. It might be, you know, my boys. Honest truth, my boys get me so many conversations started and so many people watching, because they want to see, what is Blaze eating today? Is he being a grouch? What is Felix freaking out about? Oh, if Felix is doing his hair again. And you know what I mean? So it really draws a lot of people in. So I always start my beginning slides with me. And then in my middle, that's when I bring Monate into it. And so recently this month, what I've been doing is in the mornings, I've been promoting the business in my stories. So if you ever watch my stories, I love using like Unfold, all those things. I like to make really pretty stories because, again, I have an art background, but I will always kind of bring the business into the mornings right now. And then I like to always end my morning stories with a positive quote. So I've had a lot of people, you know, comment just on my stories just because you put a positive quote, and they're so easy to find. Like you literally Google positive quotes. Or if you're following certain people on Facebook, you know, that actually post a lot of positive things, adding those in there have been really good. And then what I've been doing at nighttime is the same thing. So, you know, I'd get my morning stories done, do my day, and as things are happening throughout the day, take a couple snippets. When the boys are doing whatever, take a few of that. And then I've been doing skincare at night. And that's another reason, you know, and if you've been on the Powers, we've been talking about skincare. But another reason why, you know, the PV for me has been really, really good is because I'm promoting skincare a lot. I love skincare. I love the hair care. I built my entire business on hair care. People knew me for my hair, and skincare came into it, and I was like, ugh. But then I fell in love with it. And the volume on skincare is really, really good. So at nighttime, I've been doing a lot of skincare stuff. And it's not just about like, I do show a lot of testimonials as well, but I also like to show people me using the products, because I think when people actually see you using the products and they see how much you love them and you're excited and they see them working, then people are more inclined, because, you know, this business, we all know this business is about know, like, and trust, right? So people are getting to know you in your stories. People are getting to like you in your stories because you're showing who you are, and everybody is likable, and they're getting to trust you when you're actually showing people that you're using these products and the benefits that they provide, right? And so that's kind of the way that I use stories. And what's really nice is, again, you can be doing these on Instagram and they will just automatically go over to your Facebook. And so it's kind of like killing two birds with one stone, which I love. One of the things too, and to be honest, you know, like some days you just feel like you just can't do it, right? You're like, ugh, I don't want to reach out to people. Oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. But stories, I feel, are like the one thing that you can be consistent with if you can actually just kind of come up with your own formula to what you're going to do. I think it helps you, number one, figure out what to post. You know, like I'll go like right now I was like, okay, which products am I gonna show tonight? And I'm like, oh, okay, I haven't done the scrub for a while, so I'm gonna bring the scrub back in. And so I'll always show myself using it, and then I'll put a few slides after with before and after so that people can see those. And Jess had mentioned, and I think it's really, really a positive thing, and she's actually the person that I got this idea from, was that idea of posting the same thing for a while. So you might feel like redundant, showing the same thing over again. But back in the month of November, I had signed 17 VIPs in November. And a lot of those were just with the eye smooth and the 30-second miracle, because I went crazy with those two. I was like, okay, what can I show? And, you know, she was talking about the lash serum. And so, and she's been promoting, and I've seen that on her stuff, like she's been promoting that a lot. And it's, the more you're showing people kind of the same thing for a while, the more it's going to stick into their heads. And you might feel like you're being annoying. First of all, who cares what people think, right? But you're really, really ingraining it in people's heads and letting them see what, you know, what those specific products can do. So I do like to focus on certain things for a certain period of time. And I find that I actually get,
because they say that they, you know, people have to see something multiple times before they make a decision, like between 6 and 12 times or something. So if you're constantly showing that eye wonder, it's like what happens when you click an ad on Instagram, then all of a sudden you see it over on Facebook, and then you see it pop up on Instagram. It keeps in your face because it knows you need to keep seeing it before you make that jump. So you feel like you're being redundant, but they only last 24 hours, and maybe not all the same people are saying it at every time, but you're still getting the exposure over and over and over. It's like ingraining it in their head.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is like when I'm posting it, and, you know, with my team, I like to provide stories for them to help them out. And I'm always like, okay guys, like we're sticking on the same train, right? Here's some more 30-second miracle. Here's some more eye smooth stuff. But it does really, really pay off, because I think in stories, if you're just like, you know, one, like, and I did this before, and I've seen greater success with sticking with kind of a couple of things. And that's why I'm really focused on skincare right now, also because I'm obsessed with it. But I've seen a lot of increase in my, not only, you know, VIP signage, but my PV, because a lot, like I said, a lot of my VIPs have come from stories, and they still follow me. And so they see me using it as well. And then it's like, they're like, Fudge, a lot of them are my former students, so they just call me Fudge. And they're like, Fudge, what is this eye cream? Like, what is this stuff all about? And they're ordering my VIPs, and I'm like, yeah, girl, like, you got to try it. And so I think that it really, you know, when you're promoting kind of one thing at a time, it's really, really good. But the thing with stories too, is it's like, they're the one thing that I know every single day, no matter how I'm feeling or whatever's going on in my world, I'm like, I can do my stories because I know the actual formula of what I'm doing. I just need a couple videos of the boys, right? I just need to, and you can recycle stories too, like from, you know, I've recycled a few from that I had done in February, but they're saved on my phone. And I'm like, hey, I'll put those ones in about the business. Like, I'll talk a little bit about something, then those ones in the business, and then I just need to find a positive kind of quote. Or I like to find quotes about self-care, right? Like there was one we did, it's like, myth, you don't need an eye cream. Truth, yes you do. Like, you know, I like to add funny little bits into there too and show your personality. And I think that's the best part about stories, is you actually get to show who you are. And I know a lot of girls on our team, you know, we've really, my sister and I have really been promoting, like, showing yourself using the products, do your skincare, like you're doing it anyway, like you're washing your face anyway. So just show people, right? And so I think it's just, you know, you showing yourself using the products, having that, you know, kind of formula to those stories will be really helpful in the ideas in your head, because I know it's not always easy to figure out what it is you want to do. And so that's probably my favorite IPA that I do, is stories. It's where I definitely get the most traction and where I get a lot of people reaching out to me. I like to add the polls or drop emojis. I think I've sent out, like, I don't even know, maybe 18, 20 skincare samples this month, just by talking about skincare, and then having a little box there being like, if you want to try it, drop me an emoji. And when people drop emojis, you're like, oh, they're serious. It's not an accidental vote type deal. It's like, no, they really want to. And even when people accidentally vote on stuff, I still reach out to them. And they're like, oh, it was an accident. And I'm like, oh, girl, I feel like the Monet gods are telling you, you got to try this stuff, right? And then they laugh, and they're like, oh, well, okay. And I'm like, okay, now you're going to be my VIP. So there's a lot of different tools in the stories that I think help engage with conversation. And that's what the business is all about. So But and I'm just going to briefly talk about what we've been doing. So I had started, our school year got cut short for me with teaching before the week of spring break with everything that was going on. And I ended up with a little more time and still teaching online, but I did end up with a little more time, and I was just like, okay. And I know like everyone was freaking out, like nobody knew what was happening and people were scared and all that. And I was just like, what is like the one thing that I can do for my team to actually like, bring us all together and focus on what we have like in our laps right now with this opportunity. And so I had started doing power hours. My upline, Amy, had created a PowerPoint kind of template based off of simple IPAs and put them in a really good kind of order. And so I just started doing it with my team. And then it was awesome because I had reached out to Summer and Diana and invited them to come. And then Amy saw and was like, can I, oh my gosh, I saw this. Can I open it up? I'm like, yeah. And so it has now, if you are not, let me tell you, if you can, and you are not yet coming to the power hours every day, like Amy Murphy has been on every single freaking one. You guys, you need to they are very, very simple activities. So these are just the things that you need to do to build your business. And it really is simple. And I know when you come into this, and I know when I first started 3 years ago, I was like, what am I supposed to do? Like, what? Like reach out to people. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what do I say? How do I start conversations? And all of these things, even if you've been in it for 3 years, just to have the reminder of what it is that you need to do, they're amazing. So it's like simple things. Like number one, we're sending birthday messages, saying happy birthday to people in their inboxes. Boom, you're starting conversations with people. Number two, and much like Jess was saying, right? Adding people. We're adding people to our funnel every day. So we're adding people on Facebook. I am like all over writing down that searching a person's name thing. We're going to have so much fun with this one tomorrow. So, like picking one name to search for people. But we're adding more people into our funnel to see what it is that we're just going in, we're loving on people, we're commenting on news feeds, we're creating conversations with people, we're genuinely trying to connect with people media, which is what everybody needs right now. Like everybody wants connection, right? We're doing stories challenges. So that's where we're going in, we're commenting on people's stories, we're creating, conversation there. We're checking in with our VIPs. So important. It is so much easier to keep a VIP than it is to get a new one, right? So checking in with your VIPs is so important. Take 5 minutes, see how they're doing. We're talking to them about the new products that we have. We're thinking, we're brainstorming together saying, okay, does anyone have like really good VIPs that you think the business might be a great opportunity for them? Why don't you reach out to them and ask them? So, we're coming up with really a whole bunch of new ideas that are like based on these really simple IPAs. We're following up with people. Y'all know fortune is in the follow-up. Okay, so if you're not following up with people, you're doing yourself a disservice. So we're taking 10 minutes to follow up with people, whether it's for VIPs or if it's for but we're spending 10 minutes and then we're doing, do we want to sing it? Come on. I always feel like somebody's watching me. And I get everybody who's not been on a power is like, what is happening right now? We have too much fun. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, I love the power hours.
But we're going in and we're examining who's comment parties with people that are already watching what we're doing. And then we're always checking with our team. And that's the biggest thing, is that at the end of these power hours, like we don't talk, like we'll pipe in and do stuff, but at the end we get to check in with each other. And the thing that is like seriously could make me cry is just the connection that is happening with all these teams across Canada. And we've got girls from the United States coming in. And we are all learning from each other, right? Like I don't have all the answers, like, nobody does. And I know what my team does is different than like what Diana's team does and whatever, but we're creating these connections with these teams right now. And if there's anything that we all need at this moment, and I think it's connections. And I know that like I have made like new friends on here, like things where, you know, people are piping up and saying, hey, Erin, this is something that I do for whatever. And I'm like, perfect. And we're editing this power hour every day that we go through. But it's literally created just a huge, massive community where we're all just working to help each other. And I actually really feel like that's what this company is all about. You know, it's not all about making money. Like, obviously we're all here for a reason when it comes to finances. But we're so much better together. And these power hours have just brought so many people together. We're all learning from each other, and it's literally like we're having so much fun. And tomorrow, if you can make it, so it's 3 p.m. Eastern time. So for my Calgary peeps, that's 1. If you wear your bathrobe, right? We're doing a bathrobe day. And Amy Murphy's gonna do a draw, right? For one of her $1 million bathrobes. So everybody who shows up, you wear your bathrobe. We're doing a draw. It's hilarious. It's awesome. But yeah, I guess my biggest thing is like, I just want people to know that the most important thing to do in this business is to work your personal business. And the best way to do that is literally by having, you know, 1 hour out of your day. That's all it takes to actually just do simple IPAs. And I will tell you guys, like, every power hour we're having, someone's like, holy crap, I just signed an MP. And then it's like, oh my gosh, I got a VIP last night. Like, Amy signed an MP today, 10 minutes before the power hour started. And, you know, we were on it, and I can't remember who it was. Someone else signed an MP while we were on it. Mm-hmm. And it's literally, it's so awesome, because then we're all just there and we're like, yeah, girl. And we're all so excited for each other. And they really are creating huge momentum. And if you can't make it, I get it. Like, not everyone's life is the same as, you know, what mine is and what time I have to give. But if you can do them with your team at a specific time every day, do them, because you're going to see huge, huge momentum. I know for my team, my numbers have never been higher in the 3 years that I've been in this business. And it's all just because everybody is just seriously doing simple work.
Yeah, I have to give testimony.
Thank you, Melanie.
I really want to give a testimony to it, because I knew it was always there, and I did it once in a while. But like, being in lockdown, like I'm a hot mess more than I ever have been, because my kids are home 24/7 now. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, if my Eva Diva, 4-year-old diva, is having a day, I'm getting nothing done. Like, attached to me, like, I can't do anything when she's like on me and screaming and doing her shiznat, whatever she's doing. So like, it's hard, like, and the homeschooling the kids, trying to figure out 3 different curriculums for all the kids. And then, like, you know, it's crazy. So then I started tuning into Erin's power hour that she was doing regularly, and it has changed my business completely. The short amount of time that I've been in there, my inbox is always full of conversations. I have new people coming into my pipeline, because it's forcing me to do the activities that I know I need to do, but I don't do it. Like, when we're multitasking during the day, we're kind of trying to poke things in, and you don't really remember what you're actually doing, and you feel like you're busy all day, but you weren't productive. Yeah.
Sorry, my kid's saying goodnight to me.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you're busy, but you're not really productive, and you're not consistent in all the things. So like, this one dedicated hour, like, my family knows, my kids know now, when I'm on the power hour, they don't even bother me. Like, they see everyone up on the screen and I'm on my laptop, and they walk away from me. They know I'm on my laptop. Mommy is working. And then they know they can come to me after, like, are you done your meeting now? I'm like, yes, I'm done. Like, it's amazing. And just, my personal business has gone up, like, in sponsoring in this last month. And I don't think it's a coincidence that my personal sponsoring has dramatically increased around the same time I've been consistently showing up on the power hour. I have to say, it's not a coincidence. So I really need to give a shout out to that, the consistency part of it, and just the dedicated activities that you're doing in that hour. I'm sold on it.
And and you know what? I think all of those too really play into what is happening in the world right now. And I think, you know, all of those IPAs are about making connections. And that's what people need right now is connections. And it's allowing us to, you know, start to, like I sent a link off to an MP today that I was speaking to during power hours, right? And people are just like looking for those connections. And I got a VIP just from doing the birthday messages and saying happy birthday to somebody. And then they had seen, of course, I'm very consistent in my social media posting and those types of things. And so then they're seeing those things as well, but just that little reach out, they're like, hey, I saw you're doing this stuff and your hair looks nice or your skin is glowing. Like, and they're looking for connections, and everybody is watching everybody right now, like everybody. And I think that, you know, what we're doing with those IPAs is just really, you know, making the connections. And that's what the business is all about, is making connections with people.
I want to agree with what Krista said. She said in the power hours, like you say, I'm working more than you would if you weren't. For example, like we're always working on our phones. Well, do our kids know how important it is? Like if we're always walking around on our phones, is it really that important? It doesn't, seemingly you'd think, no, she's just on her phone. Like, yeah, whatever, it doesn't seem important. But when you're sitting in your laptop and you're sitting and you're dedicating that hour, like your family sees, oh yeah, like they take you more seriously than if you're just like on your phone. Like,
yeah.
What I mean? So it really does set that precedence. And if you just do the power hour and that's all you do for the day, you've moved your business forward. And it took just an hour. You know what I mean? Like anyone can fit that in. It's brilliant. I say to Erin, I was like, even when lockdown's done, like this is going to be a thing. This is a thing. Like beyond.
Forever.
Forever. This will be what we do literally daily for the rest. It's going to be our system in our business.
Forever.
Yeah, forever.
And the nice part is if you can do it, if you can do something like this, if you can't join us, but you can do it on your own. And I know Amy had posted just like the slides, which I'm going to have to revamp because we're adding so much goodness to it. But if you can do it earlier on in the day, what's nice is that when you go to bed or you're getting ready to go to bed, you have so much work that you can follow up with. So you can follow up with the people that you've messaged at, 1 o'clock. And then you have, you know what I mean? Like, I know for me, I put a lot of hours into my business. That's just me because I'm kind of crazy like that. But whatever I've done at 1, then, once I get the kids to bed, I've uploaded my nighttime stories. I'm like, okay, I can message a few people back. And what's good too is like, I don't know about any of you guys, but like when I wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh my God, like I have messages in places and things happening. And I'm like, oh my gosh, when I'm going to find the time to like write these people back, I got to get the boys fed. I got to do kindergarten. And then I'm like, it's okay. Because at 1 o'clock, I can actually do my work then. And I know, Amy, you had done a really good training about, on the Super Saturday, talking about your DMO and how you still need to like make time for your family and all that. And it's like, if you can seriously just find 1 hour to dedicate to your business, then you're not stressed out like when you're with your family or doing your other things, because you're like, nope, it's okay. I can do this at 1 o'clock. I can do this at 1 o'clock, right? And then you can actually enjoy the time with your family and things that you're doing. DMO is life, daily method of operations. So just deciding what you're going to do when in the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the power hour fits nicely, like, especially where we're all doing everything all day long. I know I'm focused working from 4 to 5 Atlantic time. I know 4 to 5 is my work time. So like in the daytime, if I get any other work done, that's bonus of whatever I'm doing. But like I can schedule kids homeschooling. I can schedule making lunch. I can schedule, cleaning up, doing my personal time. Like if I want to read a book or do personal development or have a bath, whatever, then I know I'm going to work, and then I got to make supper, and then I got to take the kids outside to play, and then they get to bath them and have dinner and whatever. Then I lay down, and then I can do a little bit more work if I choose. But if not, I've worked from 4 to 5. Like my work is done for the day. So if I can't do any more, you did your hour, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What's your go-to resource for prospective MPs?
Like a video, like when you're prospecting, like if you talk to them and they're interested, then you give them a video, Or if you like, is that what you mean? Yeah. I posted in Team Dynamite in a thread somewhere, a bunch of videos that I use. And one that I like to use is Ann Fisher did one, and it's like literally 4 minutes. And I love her energy. I really resonate.
She's got great energy.
Yeah, and she resonates with a lot of people. Like a lot of people resonate with her energy. So I really like it. It's short and sweet, talk about the business and everything. So I use that one if I tell people, like I try to have conversations and then I ask them, you know, like, did you want to see a video if you need more information? I try to close them without tools, but if they need a tool, I'll send them a video, or I'll send them stuff from my Connect app, and then it tracks, you know, as they're watching it, it tracks it. You can see that they're opening it. Offering samples is really good if you know, because then you get them in your Connect app and send the samples from the app, and then the app follows up with them and touches base. So there's all kinds of different things, and there's checklists in our resources too. If you want to go through checklists, there's lots of checklists back there for all the things.
And that's the nice thing too about the Power Hour is like, how many questions do we ask all the time, every day? Like everyone's asking and we're just getting different answers, and like people are getting directed into the places they need to go. And like, yeah.
You have a Zoom call full of leaders that jump in and answer. You're getting so many perspectives, so many answers. People jump in and help each other. It's fabulous. Love. It's going to be forever. It's going to be forever. Just saying, it's going to be forever. It's our thing. So join us.
Well, I'm about to sign my my papers for teaching half-time next year. So I'll be there.
Awesome. So thanks for all your tips. Was that the end of your spiel?
Yeah, I just want to say, man, like, again, you guys focus on your personal business, just doing those IPAs. You know, we all want to find market partners, but working your personal business is how you're going to find market partners as well, and how you're going to get that PV, and being consistent. Like I think stories, again, like I say, are the biggest, are like the hugest tool to, you know, add new customers, but also to get your existing customers to purchase. And again, Jess said it too, you want to educate everybody. And that's what, if you've seen my stories, that's what I do. I educate, but in very simplistic terms, because people don't want to hear like, and this was and derived from the blah, 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 blah. It's like, hey, it's naturally based and it totally makes you look younger. And people are like, I like that. I need it.
Exactly. Can I highlight something that you said today that really stood out to me that I really would like? I really I started to pick, it's funny you mentioned it because I picked up on it, your story formula. I was like, I noticed your flow. I was like, she's talking about family, then she does like Monate, and then she ends with a quote. Like I started noticing it, especially when you ended with the quote. I was like, okay, she ended with that quote, and then she did her thing. I was like, I started to pick up on your formula, and I was like, okay. So it was very strategic that you did it, and I think it's brilliant because it's like a flow, and then you're not always, because I know a lot of people come to me and say, well, what do I post in my stories? I feel lost. I don't know what to post. I'm not exciting. My life isn't exciting. But if you can take a snapshot, like even if you had a bath today, take a picture of your feet in your tub with your salts, boom, that's what you did today. It doesn't have to be anything. It's just, it shows you or whatever you're doing. And then you use your product or talk about the opportunity. Cause I liked how you broke it up, business morning, product at night, because you wash your face at night. And same with me, I'm more of a face washer at night than morning.
Yeah.
So doing it at night would be really good to do product at night, business in the day, and with something positive. I love your positive quote thing, or something a little funny or that relates to whatever. Like, I thought that was great. I think that is something that I think should be duplicated for shiz. Like, that is such a great formula. New people can emulate that and duplicate that without even like stressing about it. It's such a great duplicatable formula that I think is fabulous. And I liked your 10 and 10, like always have 10 slides going and then comment on 10 people's stories every day, like 10 and 10, which you'll do that naturally with the Power Hour. You'll comment because that's part of our Power Hour is commenting on stories. So it's, but making sure you have your stories going so that you can see who's watching you. Make sure you're so that formula, it brings it all together, and it was just brilliant. So thank you for that. Like, that's awesome.
No problem.
Brilliant. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Thank you, Erin, for taking your time, and thank you everyone for showing up. I can do some nugget drops. It's already been an hour, and I think people probably are good with what you've got from Erin and Jess, and I'll be happy to drop nugs anytime. I'll come on Team Page, or we'll have another Zoom. I'll drop some nugs anytime. But I just really want to pick Erin's brains and Jess's brains for sure. And because I know that they've been just literally killing business. And I figured we'd all like to hear what the heck are you guys doing?
Yeah. I was just going to answer that one question. Cynthia asked what do you mean by 10 slides going? So
Right.
like 10 stories going. Like when you add your stories. So like I had said, I split mine into morning and night. So if you're doing stories in the morning, so even if you're going, like I go nuts on mine sometimes, they're like really like long, but if you can do like 5 stories in the morning and upload those and then have your day and then add another 5 at night, that means that your stories are always rolling in people's feed up there. So that way you're not gone. It's like you're always there.
I'll give you a little tip. This is a little tip that I learned because a lot of people were stressing over stories when Instagram was kind of coming out and they're learning all the stories, because people would be like, well, I'm always in my phone and I'm always uploading stories all day long. I'm not enjoying my moment. So I tell people literally record it on your camera. Take snippets and it only does 15-second clips, or it will take a minute and break it into 4 15s. So I never film. If you look at my camera roll, the videos I take are never more than a minute. I always stop it after a minute and start it again because I know it's going to cut it off after a minute. So I'm always taking snippets during my day, on my bike, in the bath, my kids. I take pictures and little videos, and then I go back to enjoying my life. And, when I get my coffee time or my me time, I'll upload my mornings. In the morning, I'll upload some in the morning. And then when I get my time in bed, like at bedtime, I'll upload them at night. So you can enjoy your life and not be succumb to stories all day long. It's a really great way to just kind of capture your day and then just upload them some in the morning, upload some at night, and you're good to go. So that was just kind of my little tip there.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it was annoying because it used to be you could do 2 minutes. Now they changed it to 1.
Yeah.
I was like, damn it. But yeah, and that's the thing is I don't want to be on my phone all day, every day either. It can be like your best friend and your nemesis at the same time. So I think it's just about carving out times in your day when you can do it, get it in there, be done with it, do a power hour, be with your family, do your stories at night, message a few people, watch Ozarks, go to bed. That's my life right now.
That's what I gotta watch.
Yeah, I love it. That's good.
All right.
But thank you so much, Amy, for having me. I appreciate it. It was good. I missed out on bath time.
Give a shout out to Allie, because Allie's having she's having all the feels right now. I love you, Allie. I don't know if you guys know Allie's story. She has degenerative back disease. So she can't go to bed sometimes. She's in so much pain, she can't move. And she won't get out of bed sometimes because it's so painful. So the power hours have been giving her a reason to get out of bed. So it makes me want to cry.
Oh, Allie, that's so nice.
Oh, we love you, Allie.
Yes, you're so funny.
Honestly.
And you're like one of the best singers for sure.
I just wanted to put that out there. I was gonna try to say it, but I'm like a blubbering mess right now. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys know how much you mean to me.
Oh, Allie, that's so nice. I'm like, oh, stop.
We love you.
I'm like, wait a minute, my makeup's completely waterproof. It's okay, I can cry. Allie, that's awesome. And you know what? That's why we're doing them. And that's what I love so much about them. And I know that everybody that's been on them is feeling like the power that we're having together, where it's like, it's so everything is so genuine there. It's like, I've never, my team is kick ass. I love my team Infinite Arrival. We are like wonderful women and whatever, but I'm so excited that we're being able to help other people and that they're getting to know other people and we're all getting to know each other. And like Amy, you and I, we met in Mexico and we had a great time and whatever, but now, we send each other pictures of ourselves in our bras. It's cool.
Cool. It's cool.
It's cool. But I mean, like, we're just, everything is so, it's just such a connection, right? And it's really what the company's about. And Allie, that makes me really happy to hear that we're giving, like, something is giving you excitement and motivation to get up every day, because
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's been huge over the last like few weeks. You have no idea.
And you learned about what retinol, that retinol thins your skin.
Yes.
And now you send samples to somebody and you're going to sign her as a VIP and it's going to be 209 PV.
Yes, exactly. I mean,
And,
yeah.
until you talk her into the eye smooth, and then it's going to be like 500 or 258 or something.
Yes. Yes. I love it.
You got this. Got this. Well, you bring a lot of light to those calls, so thank you.
Oh,
Yeah, it means a lot, because I know how hard it is for you to even get up out of your bed, and you get up and you show up for your business. And Allie's a rock star. Like, let's just throw it out there. She's a freaking rock star. She's close to Emma.
So close.
So close.
That's amazing.
That's what I meant this morning. Like, when I show up in my bathrobe, it's not that I'm trying to emulate Amy Murphy. It's literally that I just was able to climb out of bed. And if I didn't have my bathrobe on, you'd be seeing me in my like skimpy little pajama tank top that's like falling apart. So, which
That's okay. Like I said, Allie, I've been actually, I did take the bra, my one bra off tonight. I've been wearing the same sports bra for like 2 months. Oh, look at you, girl.
I had a bath and then I put it back on.
Okay.
Oh, mine's waiting right over there. Don't worry, it's coming back on. Sweaty.
So funny.
We're so
Guys,
gross.
So power hours are much like this. After we work, we shoot the shit and we have some fun. So come join us for power hours tomorrow. Everyone in a bathrobe will get entered to win a free, I'll do a draw for a $1 million bathrobe. Okay.
That was awesome.
Love you guys. We will see you soon. And we'll plan another training soon, okay? We'll plan another one of these another night. You like that?
Love it.
Thank you guys.
Yes, thanks guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, I gotta go put my bra back on, man. This is uncomfortable.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye.